So thank you guys for viewing our virtual vendor spotlight. Today I have one of the sponsors for the 28 Days of Self-Love Conference. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give her the floor to introduce herself by saying her name and her business. So how are you doing today?
I am well, and yourself?
I'm doing good. So go ahead.
My name is Andrea Delone Esther. My company name is Bijou de Delone. My maiden name is Delone, so it's French for jewelry by Delone. I have been making handmade jewelry and accessories for the home for, it's been a while. I'm gonna say I started in 2003, and now I'm a home-based business.
Okay, awesome. That's great. So what made you decide to go into business?
Well, at first it started off as a hobby and it became an expensive hobby. So I decided to start selling.
Okay, okay, nice, nice, nice. So, what inspired you to get started? Was jewelry making something that you always found pleasure in?
You know what? It kind of fell into my lap. Um
Mhm.
my aunt by marriage had a clothing store and she would purchase handmade jewelry from a local vendor, but we weren't getting wholesale prices. So when we would mark up, it was too expensive and nobody was buying it. So my aunt decided to make our own jewelry. So she
Mhm.
signed us up for this class and we never made it to the class. Believe it or not, some random woman came into the clothing store and was asking about the jewelry. And then she said, well, oh, I can teach you how to do this. So she came to the store one evening after hours, and my aunt and myself sat in the store and she taught us how to make earrings, necklaces, and bracelets. And like the next day, my aunt and I went out, bought like all kind of stuff, so we could
Mhm.
practice and get our stuff together so we could start putting stuff in the store. Well, I like crafting. I've always liked art. So I basically was doing a bunch of it. My aunt was like, "This is too much for me. Here, you can have all my supplies." And then it went from that to making stuff for gifts, for the family and stuff like that. And then from the gifts for family, it became, oh, can you make this for me? I want to give it to, somebody. And
Mhm.
then after a while, it was, okay, this is becoming a bit too much. And it's so funny because I hate shopping. I
Mhm.
hate going into the stores. I hate buying clothes.
Oh,
But
wow.
I have an addiction to bead shopping.
Mm.
So
Wow.
it's crazy. I have beads in my house from like 2004.
Oh, wow.
And then but it's just, oh, this is pretty. I want to buy it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So again, like I said, it became an expensive hobby.
Mhm.
So to pay for my habit, get my little fix, I had to start selling, selling my jewelry. So it's funny. My husband and I, we joke about it, saying that I'm slinging rocks. Like,
Oh, wow. So that's a passion of yours. That's always a good thing.
yeah.
So what has been one of the biggest joys of having this business? Obviously, you have a passion for beading. So, what has been one of the biggest joys you would say from having this business and
I
doing
can
something
say
you really love?
I can say two things. Yeah, I do. I really do enjoy it. Um, I'm a people person and I love talking to people. So before COVID, I would do local markets, festivals, pop-ups and stuff like that. So interacting with people, and getting to know their story and why they like this piece, or, just talking in general.
Mhm.
So I do miss that. And the other thing is just for people to say, oh, that's pretty, something that I created, and for someone else to think something of it.
Mhm. What keeps you motivated? Obviously, as business owners, we all experience highs and lows. I mean, last year I think was a very scary period for a lot of business owners. We didn't know like what would happen to our businesses with the whole pandemic and everything. So
Mm.
what keeps you motivated as a business owner to just stay positive and to stay in business and to follow your dream?
I can say my motivation will be my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have a daughter, Madison, and a son, Mason, and they encourage me a lot. It's so funny. Like they'll they'll tell me, well, mom, aren't you supposed to be working on orders? And, I'm sitting down watching TV with them, trying to have a little time with my kids. And they're like, no, aren't you supposed to be working on orders? And I'm like, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also, my husband encourages me a lot. Um, it's very, very supportive, which I love. So, even with the low points, it's not like, oh, you need to go get a job. It's, trying to find ways to push a little harder,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. So, of course, you are one of the sponsors for the 28 Days of Self Love, and I'm so grateful for you for being a sponsor.
Mm.
So, how can the Queen community, so obviously the Queen community will be a part of this great event that I'm hosting for the month of February. They'll be tuning in and they will be watching our sponsor highlights. So, right now, for the Queen community, how can the Queen community support your business?
I I'm simple. So you can support me just by following me on Instagram or Facebook. My, I guess you can say handles are BIJOUXDEDELONE. I also have a website. It's bijoudedelone.com. I sell on Etsy as well. So on my website, I do post different things, not just items to purchase. So you can also go on, I have a blog that you can follow up on. I post my upcoming events. So of course, this event is on my website. So you can just keep up with things that I'm doing and what's going on, not just, oh, let me go buy something. You don't have to buy something to support someone.
Awesome. Thank you. And you actually answered the next question. It was going to be to make sure you let everyone know how they can contact you. But I
Yes.
do love that because, right, support isn't always in a monetary form, support is
Mm,
encouragement in different ways. So, you guys
exactly.
heard it, the Queen community
Exactly.
that will be viewing our sponsor spotlight for Bijou. I always say Bijou. I love French, but for everyone that will be tuning
But I
in.
speak no French besides
Mhm.
my name, the business name, and the little sayings that New Orleans people say, like
Yeah,
buku
of
and
course. Yeah, we love our French sayings for
yes,
sure. But
yes.
you guys have heard it. And for all the Queen community that will be tuning in for our great sponsor right now. So just make sure you guys support this sister. This is the whole purpose of our vendor spotlights for our sponsors. I wanted to give everyone a moment, their option to explain their business in their own words because the Queen community is about support. Our 28 days of self love is also about self love, but it's also about support too. So, you guys
Mhm.
make sure that you support this sister. And when you guys do everything, I will make sure I have clickable links for everyone to go ahead and get yourself some jewelry. That's part of self love too, is adorning yourself and making yourself feel great. So thank you again, and tell them one more last time. Introduce the name of your business, your handles, everything. Let's say it one more time. We can't say it
All
too
right.
many times.
The name of the business is Bijou de Delone. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, BIJOUXDEDELONE. I also have a website, bijoudedelone.com, and you can also find me on Etsy.
Thank you guys so much. So you guys heard it from bijoudejalone.com. So make sure you guys go ahead and support this sister. And thank you guys again for supporting the Queen community. And also thank you for being a part of the 28 days of self-love virtual conference. This is our first virtual conference. This is the second annual conference that I'm doing. Obviously, this is virtual due to COVID, but this
Mhm.
will not be our last gathering. So thank you guys again.
Mhm. Thank
Okay, so
you.
we're done. I told you it was gonna be super simple.